Time for the Pucking Around podcast. Puck around and find out. Hey everybody, welcome to Pucking Around podcast. It is post-draft and the end of day one of free agent frenzy, and that's the kind of things we're going to talk to you about tonight. So hopefully you guys are ready for that. There's lots to talk about. I'm here with my usual co-stars. Let me see if I get this right. Over there, got Cam. And it's his birthday today. Ask him how old he is in the comments.
I'm celebrating the 9th anniversary of my 21st birthday.
There you go. And up there is Matt. And up there
What's up?
Okay, don't listen to me, guys. So we're going to talk about the.
Oh, I don't get an introduction.
No, fuck you, Alex.
You talked through it, so you didn't hear, and nothing I can do about that. Also, for everybody out there, I'm the only Canadian here. Happy Canada Day to all Canadians watching. It is Canada Day. Except
happy anniversary of Claude Giroux getting arrested for grabbing a cop's ass.
That's a weird way of singing happy birthday to me. I didn't notice that.
Happy Canada Day to Cam.
That's pretty cool that Cam's birthday starts on an NHL free agency day each year.
Yeah, I'm awesome. Awesome.
I guess even a broken clock is right twice a day.
Oh,
there you go. All right, so listen, just don't pay attention to these guys. We're going to, because the draft just happened on the weekend, we're going to try to recap the draft for each of our teams and in the NHL in general. We're going to go over some of because not all of the moves that were made today. And Free Agent Frenzy Day started today. And we're just going to take it from there. And how's that? That seems like enough to talk about. What do you think? Also, the fact that, Alex, I don't know if we're going to hold this in any longer, but Matvei Michkov signed his ELC with the Flyers. So he is officially a Philadelphia Flyer and will be arriving.
Happy ELC Michkov Day!
Someone give him
time in the next couple of months.
Give him a horse tranquilizer.
And, Rick, just say the word. My finger's on the button.
Yeah, we might have to do that. We might have to. I don't know. Don't expose yourself. Whatever you do, don't expose yourself.
I'm not going to do all that. I'm just like a kid in Christmas morning. Kid in a candy store.
Okay, so let's
after an ice cream truck.
Let's get that out of the way.
Okay, Ralphie, don't shoot your eye out, kid.
You can get back to normal. So I guess the question is, and it's obvious, I don't have to ask how excited are you about it because it's obvious that you're very excited. What are the implications of him coming this year?
So the fact that he came over here is a 2-year ahead of schedule period is absolutely marvelous. If you asked me this 4 months ago, I didn't think it was in the cards. I think the blueprint for this really started when Ivan Fedotov came over back in March. And that kind of came out of nowhere. And I heard.
All right, moving on. No.
I can't remember which one of my followers said this, but a few people brought up that don't be surprised that this has implications on Mitch.
Breaking. Alex has followers?
Yes, more than you, sir.
News.
Yes. How many you have?
How many you
got?
Up,
Sam? No, but in all seriousness,
how many followers you got?
About 800.
More than me.
There's a few porn bots thrown in there. I try blocking them all every time they pop up. But,
we all have them.
Thanks, Elon. But anyway, so it's all kind of started in March with that paper with the Ivan Fedotov deal. A few of my followers, as I stated, figured that, hey, maybe this could lead a path to Michkov. I didn't really think too much of it at the time until it really started becoming news around May. That this was a possibility. Hockey News Hub. This guy has been on it since day one. He's been putting up consistent updates. He's been absolutely phenomenal and an excellent source in this. And also wishing the best to you, Ann, after the news I heard about her yesterday. So wishing you the best there, buddy, if you're listening in. But, yeah, he's been absolutely great with this, keeping up with steps on this. I'm not going to go full timeline in this. Long story short, the implications it has on the Flyers rebuild is I think it advances it. Now, this year, you really can't do too much. Your cap's strapped. Maybe they make a trade within the week. Danny Briere in his press conference today signaled that he's been talking to a handful of teams about a possible hockey move. I don't know what's in store. We'll see. But I like to think they got one or two moves up their sleeve in the next week, because he said if there's nothing done within the week, this is probably going to be the roster. So we'll see what things lead there. This is shaping up to 2025. The Philadelphia Flyers will probably have 6 picks, my guess, within the first 45, give or take. Nicole says happy birthday, Kim, by the way.
Thank you, Nicole.
Not only that, they have 3 of them are first-round picks, 3 of them are seconds. They have Colorado and Edmonton's after trading their first during draft day. And you're going to have, at this moment in time, I think the exact number is $31.4 million in cap next year, with Konechny, York, and Cates to sign. When that's all said and done, this team should have about roughly, give or take, $15 million to work around, depending on what kind of deal that Cam York gets. Whether he gets a bridge or a long term, I don't know. But this team's got ammunition to make some moves, and I think it definitely amplifies it. Jet Luchenko, who they drafted on Friday, is going to be a big part of this whenever he gets here. We'll talk about him a little later on. But it definitely fast forwards things. I'd like to say 2025 will be the year they make a lot of big moves. I think they're going to be relatively close to the same, minus maybe one move, but we'll see. But it definitely alters the timeline a little bit, because now you have that borderline future 110-point player here whenever he hits his prime. And you want to make sure you have the right talent and pieces around him so he can grow, succeed, and prosper under the right guidance. And I can't wait to see how he plays under John Tortorella, because I think he's going to love him.
See, now I think I've echoed this many, many times, where I think that the biggest issue the Philadelphia Flyers are going to face right now is they're not aging together. That team is not aging together. If you look at teams like Montreal, that are going through a pretty good rebuild, I would say, and it's not, it's not, and they're taking their time with it. And I like what Danny Briere is doing for the Philadelphia Flyers, and I think he recognizes the same thing that I've said. Your team is not aging together. Your core is not aging together well. So I think they need to get to that state before they become a constant playoff team. I'm a little further out than 2025 than you say. They'll probably sniff it. They'll get in there because of the way the rest of the Metro is going. I still think there is much work that needs to be done with the Flyers, especially in your goaltending situation. Urson is okay. Fedotov is okay, but you got to remember Fedotov is 27. I think obviously losing Carter Hart was a huge thing. Very unfortunate thing too, but I think that Danny Briere needs to remain focused and address those concerns, because it still is a concern. He's done well. He got you Drysdale. He has York. He was looking at Chychrun. There were a lot of factors. So, and I think Danny Briere notices this stuff too, that the team needs to start aging together.
So that I agree and disagree on that point. They do. So their goaltender of the future is not going to be, in my opinion, either Urson or Fedotov. I think they already have that. Alexei Kolosov, who is going to be out in the AHL this season. I think they're prepping this guy to be ready in about a year or two. So I think and their goalie pipeline is loaded. They have Bjornstrom, they have Kolosov, they have the 2 guys here too. They have another guy out in Russia whose name I'm blanking on. It starts with a Z, but I'm blanking on his name off the top of my head. But they have an abundance of goaltending depth. I'm not overly concerned about that. It's just waiting for the guys to get ready here for that. As for the team aging, I think that's where I agree and disagree at the same time, because they do have some young pieces already here. Tyson Forster is only going to be, I think, 22 in a few months. Cam York is young. He's going to be part of this.
I had mentioned that. Yeah.
That, Robin, thank you. I appreciate that.
They're on the right path. Like I said, they're on the right path, but they need to get out of Couturier. They're probably going to move on from. 100%. They're going to move on from Konechny. They're going to move on from all these older players. They're going to need to move on from it. But I think, like I said, the way Danny Briere is handling the situation, how he's stockpiled the draft picks, how he's picking, it's just evident to me that he is. It seems like him and I are on a similar mindset. Where
and I agree.
I think
some of these guys that are going to be here. Sorry to interrupt.
No, you're fine. I was done. I was just going to ramble.
But some of these guys are going to be here. They just locked up Owen Tippett to an 8-year extension last year, so he's going to be part of this. I think he's only 24, 25 years old. Sanheim's in the beginning of an 8-year contract. I kind of wish they didn't sign him before John Torrell even saw a game with him. But he's looking like he's playing well. He doesn't really have too much of an injury history. So this one could age decent. We'll see down the line. But he had a good year last year. But I agree. I would like to see them try and find a way. I've always been 50-50 on the connecting thing. If they could keep him for 4 or 5, at the most 6 years, I'd be fine. But if this guy wants an 8-year deal, I want to try to do it. I have no interest in signing connecting to any more than realistically 5 years.
Can we move on a bit and talk to chat
first? But point is, to go with that, I would like this team to find a way to mesh in the same age group. They already got some chunks to that, but I won't go all night with this. Let's move on.
Over there. Let's move on. Are we doing the giveaways tonight or what?
Yes, we are. You
guys got in so late, we didn't have a chance to talk about it. So we'll be doing, I didn't mention this, a couple of giveaways. We're going to be giving away a card for is it a $50 card for pizza
Massachusetts,
and a hat from the restaurant. Now that's for the American viewers, so hopefully American viewers are here. Let us know. You're going to be put into a draw for that. And for the Canadian viewers, we're going to be giving away, I'm not having to not be wearing this tonight, but Talking Habs t-shirt. So the one I often wear, and you see it up there, right there, that one. We're going to give them away one of those. So you have to be, here's the rule. To win either of these prizes, you have to be in the chat when we're giving away the prize. So you can confirm that you're there and you know you've won, and that's how it's going to work. We're going to do this a little bit later. Just wanted to put that out there. Now, let's see who's here. We got Daryl Adams asking me, Habs will pick up another, or do I think Habs will pick up another say top player? If not, you think they should go after Skinner? Skinner just signed, so that's out of the question.
Yep. 1 year.
Yeah, with 1 year, $3 million. Do I think they're going to go after another top player? I do not. I think they will not be spending UFA money. It'll if they sign a UFA, it will be, very minor kind of a thing. I don't expect them to make any big moves. I don't think they're going to make trades necessarily for a player, and it would be a young player, but that could happen. I think they will trade away a defenseman still, and that's what I think. But no top players being brought in by UFA especially.
I think you guys can take a run at Philip Zadina. Give him a two-year, like 1 year, $2-3 million contract. I mean, he's a former sixth. I think he's a 6th overall pick, and I mean, he has tremendous upside. He just couldn't. He was on a struggling Detroit team, left, and then he went to San Jose, another struggling team, left. I mean, it seems like they're just giving up on him. But just the way I've seen him skate, seen him play, I think Montreal could benefit from maybe his talent. He'd certainly be better than Josh Anderson on the right side in the second.
I just want to see if this is the right thing here. From Kent Hughes, we won't do something for a short-term gain at the expense of our long-term plan. If we commit too long into the future to a free agent and end up blocking a young player from moving their way up then we're doing a disservice to what we're trying to accomplish. So to answer that, I think that answers that. No.
Yeah, it doesn't, for what we got in the system now, for what we have in that top 6, it just doesn't make sense to give. Why would you give? If you're gonna sign Zadina, I don't think it'd be a 1 year deal. And it just
you got to give him a prove it deal though. You can't just. What are you gonna do? Give him 4 years at $4 million?
No, 1 year. That's all they're looking at anyways right now. They're not looking to sign anybody long term. 1 year, maybe 2, but they're just looking to plug. Probably till Demidov gets here to plug a spot on the top 6.
Ghislaine had a good point that, probably Zadina is a right wing, and we got plenty of those with Demidov on the way. Sure, but Demidov isn't here yet, so that's why I'm saying you can give Zadina a 1 year deal as a prove it deal. See how he goes.
But I think, in my opinion, they're looking at a guy like Joshua Roy to plug into that role.
Yeah, no, I totally agree. I think
they've got guys here.
They've got guys you can kind of plug and play.
they've got guys.
Develop. It doesn't make sense to bring in a Zadina.
Let's try not
for a year and then let him go or trade him. Like, it doesn't make sense.
Let's try to let people finish their sentences or their thoughts before we talk over them. I don't even listen. They've got guys in the system, kids in the system that need ice time that they need to look at, and I think that's where you're going to see. And listen, for the second line winger, I think Joshua Roy is going to get that shot.
I think so.
Does that mean they won't bring in anybody? I mean, I don't think it means they won't, but yeah, 1 year at the most. I don't think they need to sign anybody for longer than that. All right. Is that it? Okay, let's move on. Sean McIntyre. I hope Mitchkov learned how to play two-way hockey because hanging out at the red line doesn't work in the NHL, and his attitude gets better. His attitude needs to get better, I think is what he means.
His attitude's fine. That was I don't understand why people think that is such an overblown statement based off of a rumor that was heard in the draft. His team, I mean, his coach did nothing but galore about him on the way out, and he had 2 or 3 teammates stand up for him. Is he perfect on defense? No, but I don't expect him to be. Patrick Kane and friggin' Nikita Kucherov are defensive liabilities, and they've got to combine 5 cups behind them. I'm not saying he's necessarily going to be them to a T, but his defense got a little better this year. It's nothing to write home about, but it was definitely better. But I don't understand where this attitude diva thing comes in, because that was just
oftentimes. Sorry, Alex. Oftentimes, superstar scorers, unless you're like Sidney Crosby, Patrice Bergeron, or somebody like you might be a defensive liability. Like, you know what I mean? Like your job on the ice is to not necessarily play defense. It's to prevent or be in the way as much as possible. But your job is to generate offense. So
yes, but you have to be able to play a modicum of defense.
All you have to do is try and get in the way and avoid getting a penalty. I mean, there are plenty of talented players that cannot. It's not everyone is going to have a perfect two-way game. It's like Alex said. Look at Kane.
How often do you have that star player? All he can do is play offense, and that's like a power play specialist. That's
Kucherov, Kane.
Okay, stop it! Don't make me look bad.
Zach Hyman, like it's
not a good one.
There's a good Austin Matthews, Mitch Marner.
Okay, I said stop it! Don't make me look bad, and all you do is
Jack Eichel.
Jack.
Well, maybe not as much Jack Eichel. I'm going to refrain. Jack Eichel. Connor Bedard.
Okay.
Yes, he didn't play much defense either this year.
From Gisland,
defense at all.
Good example of a team who grew up together. What about the Florida Panthers? What about them?
Florida was just a good, complete team.
And Florida just was able to buy their way into a cup. Yeah. If you look at it, they got Tarasenko, Reinhart, like they bought their way into a.
And they got dismantled.
Yeah. And then it got dismantled. So, like, don't expect much out of the Florida Panthers for the next couple of years. They're not.
What they do to replace,
next year. I wouldn't go that far.
But depends what they do. They lost a few pieces.
Yeah, so. they lost a ton of pieces.
Montour's a big loss. They kept Reinhart, which is big.
Lombard is gone.
I think their defense will be okay. I think they're going to lose a lot of firepower on the offense. They're not going to be nearly as deep.
A way to keep Lundell. I thought he was going to find his way out of that. To be honest,
they're going to try. So that's what I mean.
Let's try to get through these, and then we're going to get to all that stuff. I'm going to just kind of scroll through here. Enter tap. Kent is approaching this the right way. Why not use this year and or next to evaluate your young talent? If you get UFAs, then these prospects don't get a chance. Well, I get that. I think the point for me here is that I think the rebuild essentially is over here in Montreal as far as pieces of the system, guys they wanted to have here to, guys they wanted in the system. And now it's just a matter of the final development of some of them and getting them in here and making a run at a playoff and going from there. But I think essentially the rebuild, as far as the pieces coming, is done because they're going to do a little better next year. They may get some decent picks next year. After that, though, they're probably not going to be in getting these good picks. So the rebuild needs to be done, and it pretty much is. So they're answered that. Let's get a question for these guys here. Yes, Alonin went to Tampa Bay. So there's ex-Hab now.
EJ Brody signed with the Blackhawks.
Unfortunately, it's going to be all. Okay, here. Leon says Tortorella will straighten Michkov out if he gets out of hand.
Yes.
Ray, stop barking.
That's why he's the perfect coach for this guy. He's going to coach him his ass off.
Sorry about that. Sure. Demidov might be at training camp. Demidov's not going to be at training camp.
No, he's not.
He's got 1 year left. He's got 1 year left in Russia. So unless the Habs buy him out of that contract, like Michkov bought his way out, he's not coming here for a year. And it's just one. He only has a 1 year deal over there. He's not re-signing. He's coming here. So, but no, he's not going to be at training camp. And if you're looking for him at development camp, which starts tomorrow, he's not going to be there either. Neither will Atos Koivu. Barkov is excellent both ways. Matthews has drastically improved both ways.
No one mentioned Barkov as a defensive liability. He's one of the best two-way forwards in the game right now.
But drastically, is that the right word for Matthews in anything?
Matthews did get better defensively, but
drastically?
I'm not convinced. It's the reason why it's artificially inflated is because he scored as many goals and points as he did. They spent more time in the offensive zone than they did in the defensive zone. I wouldn't call that being a good defensive player. I would call that being a more offensive player with the team that was suited for offense.
And yeah, he's a little bit better defensively. I noticed that as well. I don't mind saying that. But to say drastically about Matthews getting better on defense, no, not in my opinion. Matthews got Selke consideration. Yeah, from a league that literally gets down on their knees in front of him and unzips his pants, and then you know what else.
I didn't get the fact that he got a Selke. He was a
Selke is laughable for Matthews.
I think he was better defensively this year. I don't think it was anything Selke remote. That's for sure.
Laughable. Totally laughable that. All right, we got through that. Should we recap our
I just want to add the point to the Selke Trophy voting for the 2023-2024 season is that Alexander Barkov got 165 first votes. The next closest was 4 votes for Jordan Staal, and after that was 2 votes for first at Austin Matthews. So that's Selke.
That was laughable.
Yeah.
Already
got Alexander
more
Barkov is going to win multiple of those. He's going to go on a potential Bergeron-like run. I don't know if he'll win as many as Bergeron, but a run similar to it.
I would say comparable to Bergeron is Barkov and Ans Kopitar.
I wish we still had the Coots of 2020 when he was a Selke player.
I'll actually say that because BL had a comment.
Fortunately, his back exploded.
Yeah. Now you'll be lucky if he's a 2C.
All right, enough of this idle chit chat, boys.
Well, I was gonna address a comment on BL Duffy. He said since Bergeron has retired, Barkov is the best two-way player in the game. I'm gonna still argue it's close between him and Ans Kopitar.
Okay, but I thought that's what you had said.
I go Barkov too.
Okay, one last thing, because just asked you, and this is fair, your thoughts on Elias Lindholm signing Boston 7 times 7.74.
It's $750K more than he's worth. That's about it. There are thoughts that people are concerned that he's declining. I don't think there's enough data to suggest it.
I mean, the advanced analytics certainly suggested.
So, in other words, let me ask you, what color and flavor is the Kool-Aid that you're drinking?
I don't know, considering I ran the numbers and looked at it myself and saw no viable trend based upon averages.
That point total went down quite a bit.
Yeah, Alex, if you look at the actual scale on it, then you dude, it's fine. I only work in analytics. That's fine.
Okay, hang on a second. Hey, Doug, I wanted to say we just got the cards. I just got them. I'm going to send them off to you in the next day or two. So you'll get your winning Doug won last
We'll
night.
go into the contracts when we get to free agency more.
So now that I've got control over here for a sec, the NHL entry draft just happened, as you all know. So I'd like to know from everybody. We'll leave Alex to last because I'd like to get a word in edgewise today. Just bugging Alex. We love you, Alex. He knows it.
I don't.
He knows it. Okay, I want to know from everybody. We'll start with Cam because Cam had the least, I guess. You didn't have anything in the second. You had one first round pick. or third? No, nothing in third. So you had the least amount of.
Yeah, we had 4 picks. 1,
Yeah,
4,
okay, so
I think 5, 6, and 7.
Yours is going to be quicker. How did your team do with what they had in the draft?
I mean, I was satisfied. I mean, we stuck with pick 25. I mean, I thought maybe they would flip it, but I'm glad that they didn't. It's a very talent-filled draft. Excuse me. No, I think the pick. I'm sorry. Yeah, I just had a belch. Like, you know what I mean? I just
okay. But who did they take?
They took. Oh my God! Don't tell me I already forgot his name. I can't.
Because I forgot.
It's gonna bug me. Yeah.
Oh, you got Dean Letourneau. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh my God! I can't believe I forgot his name. I actually had it at the tip of my tongue too.
He's like a 6'7". He's a 6'7", still in school.
6'7", 215 pounds. Apparently, he's being compared to Tage Thompson. Now it's been told that he's going to be a project, which I'm fine with. He's going to Boston.
He is. The big knock is that he's kind of overaged when he was playing his prep hockey. So, it's going to be interesting to see how his scoring translates to playing D1 at Boston College. But, I mean, I think it's a fine pick for Boston. I think it's a good project pick. You needed to add something to your pool.
Yeah, and I mean, he's going to play at BC, and BC and BU.
Got a floaty in it now.
They also have Lysell. I mean, they have Lysell too. Ian Mitchell's also pretty decent. So I mean, it's fine. But yeah, I think it's going to be fine with him because he's going to go play at BC. Boston colleges have a tendency to turn out really, really good NHL players. So we'll see how that does. And I think if he has part of it's mindset too, if you think about it, right? No matter where you're drafted, what position, you got to want it, right? It's all about how much you want it and how you got to prepare. I like to say this: David Pastrnak was picked 25th overall in the first round. Yep. Like, you know what I mean?
No,
sometimes,
and I think Letourneau's a good pick, though. So yeah, I think he's a good pick too.
And I think a 6'7" body power forward being compared to Tage Thompson, I'll take that. May not be a true 1C, but maybe we move him over.
Sure. Go ahead, man.
No, I was gonna say they just showed a bunch of the home openers. I got the free agent live thing there.
We're starting out in Western Canada.
The Panthers home opener when they raised the banners against Boston.
I put that in the group chat.
It's kind of funny.
I can't wait. Why is it funny? They didn't beat them in the Stanley Cup final. They just beat them
they
on
beat
their way
you en route to the Stanley Cup.
Yeah, so what? What does that mean?
That was probably the biggest bad blood series they had, though, was probably against the Bruins.
Okay, so wait now. We only got one pick. Who else did your team pick?
And I didn't pay attention to the remaining rounds to be. And
it was pretty late.
They were too late. They were too late for me to care for it. And no offense to the players that got drafted. I'm sure they're talented. They have to be in order to be drafted in some capacity. But I'm just, All
right, that was quick and easy. Matt, I'll let you start off. And that might be dangerous. I might not get another word in edgewise.
Oh, you're good.
How did you think the Habs did for the draft?
I mean, again, another.
Should I go over the list of? Should I go over the list of who they got first? Maybe. Okay, so I got the list of the Habs picks. So I'll just mention their names and then Matt will talk. So they got Ivan Demidov with their first pick, which we all know. They got a center in Michael Hage out of Chicago in the USHL.
That was a good value
with their second pick.
Guys.
He's got a 2C potential. Speaks French. His family's from Montreal. Good tie there. I think potentially a really good pick. At number 3, they got Saku Koivu's kid, Atos Koivu, a center, 6'1", 173, so a little bigger than his dad. And, I think that was a good pick there. Just even if it's just, because of Saku, give the kid a chance. He seems like he's got the talent, and we'll see where that goes. They got Logan Sawyer, another center, 6. No, okay, I had the height on Koivu wrong. But it's close. He's 6'1", 170. Logan Sawyer, 6'1", 173. Let's see. Then they got Owen Protz, an Ottawa kid out of Brantford on the OHL, 6'1", 213 defenseman. Let's see. Next is Tyler Thorpe. He is a 6'4", 204-pound right wing, so a big kid out of Vancouver in the BCHL. Goalie in Mikas Vekvanigs. 6'3", 159, not so important with a goalie. Well, he's over to 6'2", what they like to have. But he's like thin as a rail, so he's going to have to put some weight on. Out of Latvia with HS Riga, Ben Merrill, a center, another big boy, 6'4", 190, out of St. Sebastian's School. We got him a car. We got him a car, but it's the first name. Makar Kanin, right wing, 6 feet, 161, Dynamo, St. Petersburg team. So he's Russian. Rasmus Bergqvist, a defenseman, 6'2", 181, from Skellefteå, Sweden. So that's the 10 picks that Montreal made. Yeah, your thoughts there, Matt?
Yeah, I mean, look, obviously at fifth overall with Demidov, we finally had that top end kind of elite game breaker to the pool that we been missing, kind of the final piece to the puzzle. Can't say enough about him. Great attitude, great drive, insane skills. Just a fantastic pick. I like the Hayes pick too. I think Eiserman might have been the pick there if he wasn't taken, but I kind of feel a lot better about Hayes. His comp is Nick Suzuki, which is great. I'll take a bazillion of them. Excuse me. But he's a great two-way forward, and a really good two-way forward. Great on both ends of the ice. Great puck skills, really good speed. Kind of dock insurance too in case the injuries get really problematic. But again, a really good value pick there. Atos Koivu, obviously, Sako Koivu is my favorite player of all time. Stoked to have him in. He takes just after his dad. Same type of attitude, plays the same type of game. Very happy with that pick. And I don't really know much about the rest. Really, it was just the rest of the picks were just kind of that depth to the pool. Because I think we already kind of had the names that we've been watching for a couple years now. So it's really mainly just about adding more depth to the pool after round one and round three.
Yeah, I don't know much about the guys after that as well. But I'm going to trust in the fact that Montreal, as you've seen in the last this management group, let's say, as you've seen in the last two drafts, they do their homework as far as for every pick that they make. I know that their motto, according to Nick Bobrov, I believe it was him that I heard say this, they want to hit a home run with every pick, not just the first pick, not just the second pick, every single pick. So not knowing that much about all these guys, I'm going to say they're probably pretty good for where they were picked. And hopefully in the next, I keep saying this now over the last few days, I'll get to know them a little better. Now, as for Demidov, Iginla was my guy. You guys, if you watch me, you know that. I'm very stoked for this pick of Demidov. I think, even though I wanted Iginla, I knew that Demidov probably had the higher ceiling and was the more dynamic player and all that. So I knew that. I have still some sort of worries. They're not huge about Demidov, and they're nothing really. They shouldn't be anything to worry about, but I still have those. But I'm really stoked for this guy. I'm excited to see him get here. He's got such skill. I mean, if you haven't seen his highlights, look at his highlights. He thinks the game so fast, and reacts. The read and react is so quick with this kid. And he can literally do everything. Like if you need him to score, he can score. You need him to make a play, he can make a play. He can play defensively. He's got his game is pretty filled out. So I'm really kind of excited as far as should we have picked Michkov last year? No, I don't think we should have because he's not going to like me. I think Demidov's the better player of the two. I know they're very close. I think Demidov's the better player. And I think Montreal recognized this because they said even before last year's draft, they had Demidov in their sights. They knew it would be this year, and they thought, I think that's why they passed on Michkov. They wanted Demidov. Why? Why would they if Demidov's not, in their opinion, the better player? Still needs to be played out in the NHL. I can have my opinion, and he can have his. but I know my opinion's right.
I respect your opinion.
Rick, you used the wrong finger, and he can have his. Just like
I know I didn't. I don't.
Up there.
Yeah, not
I
on.
can't
Yeah,
say
come on.
it. It's
That's only
blurred
when
out.
we're off there. All right. So enough of the Demidov. Michael Hage. Michael Hage grew up a Habs fan because his family's from Montreal. I don't think he grew up here though, but his family's from Montreal. He might have spent some years here. He took French in I think through grade school, and his French is not bad. So he immediately won over all the reporters. The Habs are French reporters. His dad was a big Habs fan, and his dad passed away last year. I think that's a lot of motivation now that he's been picked by Montreal to really want to excel here. He's got the potential. Put up something like 75 points last season with Chicago in the USHL. Can score. Can dish the puck out. Potential to be a 2C. So I think it's like kind of a little bit of insurance in case Doc does get hurt down the road. They've got a guy that they like to maybe fill that role. So I like that. As far as Ados Koivu goes, I don't know that much about him. He's got some good numbers I saw out there. He's got more size than his dad. Yeah, I like that. I like the fact that he's kind of, what do you call that term when you go to the same college as your dad or something? There's a
legacy. Yeah,
I like the legacy, the pedigree. I like all that with it. He seems to be very happy he's chosen by Montreal. Yeah, as far as, like I said, the rest, I don't know enough about them either to really comment on that. I think Montreal did good at the draft. I think our GM 3 years in a row has drafted well, and we're set up well for the next few years to start being a competitive and contending team. And that's what I got to say. Now we can all go out and make some tea or something while Alex tells you how he thinks the.
I'm gonna lock you all in a room, assholes.
All right, Alex, your turn. How do you think Flyers did?
So I'd be lying if I said I thought we had the perfect draft. We didn't. I'd give Danny probably about a C+ for this. It wasn't. There were guys I would have preferred at the first overall pick more than who we got, which was Jet Luchenko. And, of course, Rick runs away.
I'm not running away. I'm right here.
No, but the board actually fell in favor. We had a chance to get DPwM with that 12th overall pick. And for some reason, I guess he was not on Danny's sites, traded down with Minnesota to get pick 13. And we ended up getting Jet Luchenko, who I'm going to be honest, at the time I didn't know too much about. He was not one of the guys I did much research on. And so
you were not happy.
No, I wasn't. I was not happy at the time. I will fully acknowledge that.
He was pissed.
I was confused more than anything. Violently confused.
Yeah.
And it was very best Michael Rappaport impression.
Yeah. I wanted to scream Pingus Pingus. But anyway, so I did a little research into this guy, and I'll just say 3 days later, I like him more than I did now. That's for sure. This convinced me that
you liked him. You like him more than you did then.
Yeah, I like him more now than I did 3 days ago, as in then.
Oh, yeah, okay. That's not how that.
He didn't say though. He didn't say it that way.
You know what I mean.
Well, that's why I corrected you.
Friggin' grammar police. Anyway, point
not
being,
grammar. It's actually speech, but yeah.
Touch your face. Anyway, so I looked into this guy. Lucky it's a damn birthday. So I looked a little more into this guy, and I think Danny Briere's intention, the reason why he was trying to trade up over these last couple of days is because he had his sights set on Berkeley Cat, which is the guy I wanted personally. He was hell-bent on getting a center, the Flyers center.
Wait a second. You don't think he was meant to
trade now he's back.
Demidov? I didn't go anywhere.
Yes.
I thought that was the rumor. He was trying to get Demidov.
So he was rumored to go for 4 or 7. If they got to 4, they wanted Demidov because of his playmaking ability that could fit with Michkov. If it didn't end up being that, I think Berkeley Cat was the guy.
At 7. Yeah, that makes
7,
sense.
correct.
Yes. Yeah, 100% that makes sense.
So the reason why I looked into it that way is just the guy they got here, Jet Luchenko is like a younger version of what Berkeley Cat is developing into. He's a speedy guy, plays a good playmaking style. Plays
Same
on a
size.
horrific.
Same size too.
He was 3 weeks short of being eligible for the 2025 draft, so he's one of the youngest guys in this draft. He's from the Guelph Storm in the OHL, which is what?
You don't have to say Guelph?
It's Guelph.
I don't care what they're called. Point is,
Guelph. That's
terrific.
new on me. Guelph. Okay, I'll remember that.
I'm the king of butchering names. You know that.
I noticed that. All you guys are at times.
No, I'm terrible at it. But the team he played for was atrocious. And
not really. They made the playoffs. They weren't a great team, but they weren't a terrible team.
From what I was hearing, they were not that good, at least from what Suitable Elias was posting.
No, they weren't a great team, but they made They made the OHL playoffs.
But anyway, so I looked more into this guy, and like I said, he's quick. He's got good playmaking abilities, and he had a massive point jump from last year to this year. He had 14 points last year. He had a 74-point campaign this year, which is noticeable. The Flyers, I think, like that jump. And they wanted to get someone with some real speed to play with Michkov once he comes over. I think this – think this kid's going to be their future 1C?
No,
I
but
would
it's
say
the start
like,
of Michkov's career. That's what
I think it's more likely than not he's more of a 2C, but we'll see. I mean, guys –
even likely by the time he gets to your team, they'll already have somebody more suited to Michkov.
And, they've got 6. The thing is, the second pick that they had, pick 32, they ended up trading to Edmonton for a first-rounder next year in a much more loaded draft. Now, where you guys bring up the point that you guys have kind of filled all the pieces for your rebuild, the Flyers already have some solid pieces here, but as Cam mentioned earlier in the show, it's not really in tune with the age group of what this team is now. I think they're trying to mesh. I think a lot of the team, when this team's truly competitive again, is not here yet. And I think 2025 is going to show that. I think Tippett will be here. York will be here. Forster and Michkov will be here. Drysdale will be here, but I don't know.
You're at the beginning of. You're at the beginning of what that team's going to look like.
Exactly. I don't know if Farabee or Konechny or Frost. Right. Definitely not Ristolainen.
Well, the older guys. The older guys. Once you're doing a rebuild, anybody basically 20 or over, 28 or over is not going to be there when your rebuild's done.
That goes to my point. That's why I don't think you're looking further out than 2025. It depends. Actually, I'm sorry. It depends on how the Metro looks.
See, here's the thing. The players they have right now, I think, are good enough to make the playoffs if everything goes right and Michkov develops in the way he will. But I don't think the core they have established around him yet is a cup core. That's the difference.
And they're going to have to get to that. They're going to have to get through that because you can't waste a lot of years.
And I agree. That's why I think they loaded up so much on 2025 because it's supposed to be a much deeper draft class. They have now 3 first-round picks in 2025. They have their own Colorado, which is top 10 protected, and now Edmonton, which is top 12 protected.
I got to tell you about that Colorado pick. Ooh, you might lose that. Colorado's struggling right now with money.
I don't think they're gonna be a bottom 10 team in the league. I think they'll still be good enough to at least be in the playoffs.
I'm not saying they're going to be, but I think their road just got a lot more difficult, especially with the teams that are able to progress
It'd be
better
awesome
than them.
They just fall out and end up 14 or something. That works for me. But listen, we'll see. And then they also have 3 second-round picks in their own, Columbus and Anaheim. And Columbus and Anaheim, I project to still be 2 bottom 10 teams again next year. They're not going anywhere yet.
Columbus is tearing it down.
Columbus might be the worst team in hockey next year. Anaheim, I think, takes another step forward, but I still think they're a bottom 10 team. We'll see.
Anaheim is a bottom.
Oh, Montreal could still be a bottom 10 team. I don't think they'll be 5.
No, I don't think so.
They might still be that low, but they're going to be somewhere, maybe a little higher than that.
I think we're going to be.
I don't think that much.
And again, too, I think we're going to be like 8 or 9 next year. I think
we'll probably be like I thought this year, 12 or so.
Well, where I had Montreal being,
you had them as a bubble team.
I had them as a bubble, but I think they would have been had their injuries not hurt them. I think they would have been on the bubble.
Which actually takes me back to a point, Rick, I want to bring up. You brought up that the fact that Kent Hughes wanted to prepare for next year's draft by drafting Reinbacher and thinking that Demidov would be someone on their sites. Do you think they would have had that opportunity if Kirby Dach didn't get injured? Because I think that team could have potentially been a little bit better to the point.
100%. No, I think you're 100% right. And when I said that, sort of he maneuvered to get Demidov, I mean, there was some luck there as far as
that's what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, because if Doc was there, more than likely, no, we don't get an opportunity to get Demidov.
So that's why I say I don't know how much stock you can put into a quote like that because we never know what's going to happen a year down the line.
No, you never know.
Do I think Montreal was a playoff team with Kirby Dach? No. But do I think they would have been better than that to maybe instead of the 5th pick, maybe they would have been like the 8th or 9th pick? Yeah, maybe. I think.
I think that's probably a good assumption, even that would have made a difference in their standing.
So that's why I think
to some degree.
I think Kent Hughes, while he may have had his eyes on him, at the same time, I think he looked at this situation and said that we already passed on a really good Russian prospect once, and now that we see him coming over again, we don't want to make that same mistake twice. And the chips fell.
Oh no, he's talked about. I'm not making this up.
No, Kent Hughes. They've had their eyes on him.
They targeted Demidov before the Michkov draft, and they made up their mind. They were going after Demidov, not Michkov. Is it because they thought Demidov was better? It might not be. It might be as actually that BL here puts out that they didn't want another Kirill Kaprizov kind of situation where they don't know how long it's going to take.
And that's a fair point. That I think is a stronger argument.
So it might just be that. It might just be that.
Yeah, but look what Kirill Kaprizov turned into.
But I'm saying
stud.
And I'm saying, from my opinion of seeing both these kids' highlights, because that's all I've seen, I think Demidov is going to be the better of the two. How much better, I don't know, but I think that.
I break it down into 5 categories, and I give Michkov a 3-2 edge. I think Michkov is a better scorer/shooter. I think Demidov is a better playmaker. I think
Demidov's shot's not that far behind him, dude.
I think you might be wrong.
Really not.
It's a tier ahead.
I think
it's a little bit different too. Michkov has already had some KHL experience, almost put up a point per game.
Isn't this adorable? A dick measuring contest before they've even hit NHL ice. None of them have played an NHL game, and you guys are comparing them.
You don't have an awesome Russian prospect like me and the Canadian fans do. We get to talk about stuff like this.
You're right. I already have a Czech. I already have an established Czech player, so I'm good.
One thing I want to say is I think you may be wrong about saying Michkov is better scorer. And this is why. I think Demidov is. I think he's going to be just as good at both.
I think Demidov
can score and make plays, and depending on the. So I don't think that's an advantage. So I think it might be 2-2, and they're tied on 1.
I personally think Michkov's ahead in scoring because I watched this guy's shot and it's ridiculous. And then I heard what Demidov came out in his interview and said that he's more of a playmaker who can score. But besides the point.
Yes, okay. But then I'm reading about him, and he's the one who said he's a playmaker more. But he said, if you need me to score, I can do that.
If you read about him,
pertaining
to that at all.
If you read about him,
that's Michkov's specialty.
He's got a multifaceted game. Whatever the game needs, he can provide it. If he needs to score, he'll score. He needs to set up a play, he can set up a play. If he's got to make a defensive play, he's capable to do that. That's what I'm saying.
I think, like I said, Demidov might be a better 200-foot player. I'm not going to argue that.
I would think
Michkov is a better offensive player as a whole when it comes to his scoring. And Michkov's playmaking is underrated, too. He had more assists than goals playing with linemates with the skill equivalent in friggin' Sochi of Cam and Naughty. So it wasn't like he played with.
No, that's a fair point to make. I think, but I mean, that's kind of the same for Demidov, isn't it? Did he have
the last two things I go with is stick handling, which Michkov is ridiculous at, and I think
so is Demidov.
Sorry.
How about this?
Michkov's a highlight reel that he
How about this? It remains to be seen. Let's leave it at that.
Oh, that's 100%.
Because we can go.
100%.
You guys are gonna go back and forth for 3 hours, and I don't have enough time. You're gonna put me to sleep.
All right, let's not put Cam to sleep. It's his birthday. Let's not.
Yeah, come on, guys. Sing me.
Okay, so how about let's talk about, since we went over our teams now, any of the draft picks that were made that were surprises to you for the teams that took them. So just in general in the NHL, were you not surprised by anything?
Yeah, Brett Seneke going 3.
Yeah, Seneke going. I'd say the whole draft for me kind of went as expected. Seneke at 3 was kind of a surprise for me. I thought Anaheim was going to go
7-2. I didn't expect Ottawa to grab him.
Anaheim interviewed him, took him out to dinner, met with him otherwise as well. They were interested in him. So the interest was there. I kept saying Seneca's a guy that's on the rise. I kept saying it. So it's,
No, we did. We talked about it. Seneca for me was a guy that honestly could have gone anywhere between 3 and 10. And I think he's that good. I don't think it was a reach by any means. I think I've got a good player there.
I don't think it was a reach. It's a risk. It's a bit of a risk.
It's a reach, but I don't think it's like a terrible one.
It's a bit of a risk.
I'm not saying it was bad. I'm just surprised from everyone else that was available.
He was shocked. I mean, Seneca himself.
He said, "What the fuck?"
Yeah, he was shocked.
So did I.
Yeah, no, seriously. Not me. I mean, I wasn't. I was a little surprised, but not surprised. Like there was that possibility was there.
Listen, I think it also goes back to what I said earlier. I'm like, sometimes you're not just always picking the best player that's available. You're picking the best player that fits your team. Like, you know what I mean? There is that. Right. Unless it's like a player like Connor Bedard, Macklin Celebrini,
right?
Connor McDavid, like those kind of talents, you have no choice to take. But everything else thereafter, you're kind of looking at your team and like, do we need a center, left wing, right wing, defenseman, whatever? You pick them.
But isn't that the case in the top 10? If you're picking top 10 and you haven't gotten it from another team, right? You earn that. You're picking. You need a lot of stuff, so you're there. If there's players of the same talent level, you're going to go for need. And in this draft, there were a lot of players of the same talent level, and teams picked for need after Celebrini, because Celebrini, whoever had that pick was gonna take Celebrini.
I do want to say I did hit on my mock draft on one of my picks. I had the Flyers taking Jack Berglund with their second round pick at 51, and they took Jack Berglund.
I like that pick.
I hit on, I think, 4 or 5 picks in the first round where I had them. So I hit on 4 or 5 of them.
And my favorite Flyers pick, I'll end it with this before we move on. My favorite Flyers pick from a value perspective is Noah Powell, who they got in the 5th round. He's from the Quebec Fighting Saints in the USHL. This dude has an offensive game that should have made him go higher. I was quite surprised to see this kid drop to the 5th round. I read some articles. This kid had 2nd to 3rd round projection, probably 3rd more likely than 2nd. But this kid's got a good shot. He seems like he's smart. I really like that pick as a value pick was Noah Powell. I think he could be someone that could be like the next Noah Cates sneaky late round guy that ends up cracking the roster. All right, on to free agency.
On to free agency.
Yep.
So today's July 1st as we're recording this. We're not recording it. We're live. Free agent frenzy day, July 1st, as always. And so that happened. How do you want to approach this? We'll just talk about guys that you saw.
Just in general, let's generalize it. Just go. Like, what some things that surprised you, things that you're happy about?
Okay, you go ahead and you start up.
Fucking Nashville.
Yeah, they put their ball
out of nowhere.
I said it earlier today. I said
nowhere.
Barry Trotz saw his catch base and said, "I turned this pitch right around."
What do you mean out of nowhere? You're going to seriously tell me that you expected the Nashville Predators to, make all those
they
crazy
put their balls on the table.
But Barry Trotz said that he's going to weaponize all that cap space he's got. And
of course. But I wasn't expecting Stamkos, Marchessault, Shea. Like,
They went in heavy on everybody. They outbid like everybody.
Yeah, but those are huge names. All three of them.
Nashville's going to be fun to watch next year. I'm going to actually.
Granted, they're old as fuck.
Now you know why
that's me and Nicole's next road trip is Nashville, so I get to watch them live next year. That's going to be fun.
So, but now you know why they tied up Saros. They remember the other day.
I had said they were not going to get rid of Saros. Didn't I say that at the beginning of the year last year? I said they were not going to get rid of him.
They're going in for it. I mean, it's clear that they're
going for it. All right, that's for damn sure.
Oh yeah, no, they're going to be good.
Anybody else out there that surprised you where they were going? I know you were expecting
Carolina Hurricanes lost.
Carolina is losing things left and right.
Yeah, Florida too.
Gone.
Florida's losing some players.
Gone. Pesci gone.
Yeah, Carolina lost a lot of pieces.
Yeah,
Natchez is likely gone. Teravainen gone.
Gone. Like everyone's gone.
Hey, but at least they got to keep KK. Come on.
Yeah. Now I will give them this. 2 good signings at the end of the day for them. They got Sean Walker and Shane Gostisbehere for the combined value of less than Brady Shea.
But do you know how much that defense took a hit? That defense is no longer the deepest defense. I don't even think it's top 5.
They're not as good defensively anymore. But
they took a hit there for sure.
When you look at it from a value perspective, Brady Shea
and their two-way game on forwards are going to take a hit too with the loss of Teuvo. Yeah, they're going to But they're going to collapse.
That's 2 good value signings for them. Is Sean Walker and Shane Gostisbehere at the very
I'm not disagreeing with that. No, I think they made some good value signings.
Who was that bottom 6 guy they signed to a 6-year deal? Carriers or something like that?
Carrier, yeah.
Carrier.
They made a few other depth signings. I'll bring them up.
I don't know, but a lot of people wanted that in my stream.
Oh, sorry. Carrier was the Nashville Predators.
Who was the guy? Carolina signed a bottom 6 into a 6x2.
Oh God. It was Carrier. It was Carrier. It was Carrier. There's 2 Carriers. Martinook was an overpay. Sorry, that was an overpay.
Was 1 season, isn't it, or 2? It's not a lot.
2. I think it was 3 at 3.5.
This I think is a good one, and it's Toronto, but they signed extended Wall, 3 years.
That's a good one.
I think that was a good one.
That was a good value deal.
Yeah, I think that was a good one.
Toronto and then a couple good ones. They got Tanev at a horrible.
Oh, don't you try! Don't you try to tell me that was a good contract?
I'm not saying. I'm not. Stop talking. Stop talking. Stop talking. I'm not saying the contract value or the term was great, but they did get a good player in Tanev.
And they gave him
you're gonna sit there and you're gonna fucking lie to me and tell me that they did not get a good player in Tanev. I'm not agreeing with the contract term or value
until he's 40.
Shut your mouth and open your fucking ears. If you listen to me, I said I don't agree with the term or the money, but they picked up a player that they needed.
It's a good short-term win.
Thank you.
Long-term, it's gonna fuck you.
Thank you. Shit.
All right.
And they got OEL too.
I'm not high on
another
OEL.
Offensive defenseman. I mean, cool.
I'm not high on OEL.
Problems.
And then they were able to re-sign Max Domi too.
Yeah, they signed Max Domi.
They're going to struggle though.
Domi wasn't bad either. I don't hate that contract either. It's just
the Max Domi contract is good. I think the OEL one is pretty good too. I don't think it's that bad.
I'm not a fan of
but he's
OEL.
Another offensive defenseman. They need defensive defenders.
I don't
Tanev. I agree. He's a good player for him. That contract is awful. I can't.
I could fall off by year 2.
And there's a good chance of that. He's already
year 1.
I think he's got 1 good year in him, and then he'll fall.
Toronto has a problem right now, though. They still need to fill out 1 roster spot, I believe it is. They have 9 defensemen signed, 3 goalies signed, but they only have 11 forwards. They need to.
Why do they have 9 defensemen signed?
Who's that?
Toronto has 9 defensemen signed right now.
Oh.
They have Morgan Riley.
I'm not questioning you. I'm asking why.
I know, but here's who they have. They have Morgan Riley, Christopher Tanev, OEL, Timothy Liljegren, Jake McCabe, Jarl. I'm not going to pronounce that. Simone Benoit, Connor Timmins, and Cade Weber. So there's likely going to be some movement down to their AHL affiliate team, but they still
Cade Weber
need.
will probably start the year in the AHL. He'll go to Marlins.
Yeah, they'll probably but they need to clear up a little bit of space to be able to get that 12th roster spot filled. They're fucked. They're still fucked. So I don't know what to say. The only good thing I think they did was sign Chris Tanev, and they're still trying to move Mitch Marner for I don't know, but he's not going to move it.
At this point.
He's not. Yeah, you might as well just take a fat L if you're going to trade him. He does not want to go.
He's going to leave in free agency for nothing. I think.
Who's that?
To really think that
Mitch Marner.
Oh God.
Well, they're still going to trade Nick Robertson. He already said he's not re-signing, so he's going to be on the move.
Yep.
Which
you're not going to get much for
honestly,
him.
that's a huge fuck up on their part. Like, because I think Nick Robertson could wind up being a very good player.
Nick Robertson was a good player for them. They
didn't play him. No, they didn't play him, and I don't blame him. He wants to go to a place where he's going to play, and it's going to screw him.
Shane Pinto reportedly wants out of Ottawa.
Oh, he's been wanting out of Ottawa for a while.
I'd bet on it.
Still got to be moved. Like, still some trades that got to happen for sure. Kind of what Vancouver did. I really like what Vancouver did. Getting
I like Vancouver. They got DeBrusk. Who else did they get?
Danton Heinen.
Yeah, the 2 ex-Bruins.
The Bruins in Vancouver.
Lindholm and Zadorov.
We just traded players. Yeah, the Bruins in Vancouver traded players.
Former Canucks. What's going on?
Yeah, that's crazy. They have forgiven the 2011 debacle, and we're moving forward, moving onward and upward.
Derek Forbert.
Yeah.
So that's
actually that I really like that pick. Since they lost Zadorov, that is a really good pickup for Vancouver. Derek Forbert is one of the.
They looked at Boston and said, "Yeah, we got to get some of that." What the hell?
Derek Forbert, I think over the last 2 years, led the league in penalty killing time and is one of the best penalty killers in the NHL.
Still, it's weird. 3 players from your team. 3 Bruins.
Yeah. But that's fine. It's free agency. That expected. And then Grzelcyk went to the Pittsburgh. I think that was a good pickup on Pittsburgh. They need something on defense, and that was a good deal that they got him. They got him a bit cheaper than what he was making in Boston.
Did they leave you guys anything? I didn't see anything much on your.
They left me Elias Lindholm and Nikita Zadorov.
Riley Tutt, is that his name?
Yeah, we don't need
Tuft
depth pieces. We're good on the bottom 6. We need a scoring winger.
What's Lindholm, a center?
Lindholm is a center.
Lindholm will play one, but you do need a scoring winger. But I mean, after Swayman signs his extension,
you
doesn't.
You only got to have like $1.5 million to play.
They've all but, the way I see it, they've all but said that Lysell is going to make the team next year because
I thought they said they're going to move Zacha over back to the wing.
They are. So what they're going to do is they're going to have Marchand, Lindholm, Pasta, Zacha, Coyle, likely Lysell, Trent, Pietrangelo, and then the bottom line is going to be Jones, Beecher, and probably Brazeau or Kastelic.
Or JVR. He deserves better.
JVR's the UFA.
Yeah, he's still free agent.
So many people are trying to really sign JVR.
My man JVR deserved better.
Cam, you don't have to worry for a scoring winger. You got Max Jones.
Yeah.
For my bottom 6, we needed him as the bottom.
Rick was being sarcastic, Cam.
I mean, that's sarcastic.
Fine. Or even better yet, give me Georgiev Merkulov. He's a good player.
What's it? You
can't even say the name. I want to shit on real quick. What the fuck are the Pittsburgh Penguins doing?
They have Kyle Dubas. Kyle
Dubas. Enough said. Kyle Dubas is their GM.
Let me go into depth with this. They start off their day by trading fucking Riley Smith, who was their big acquisition last year, for a second in 2027 and a 5th round pick. And then they say, "Oh, we got all this extra money. Let's go out and sign a bunch of fucking nothing." Mark Hollowell, I don't even know what the fuck that is. Matt Grzelcyk, who's okay. At least you can talk me into him being a second or third pairing D-man.
He's a
Ryan
second.
Shea, who sounds like a fucking created my player from 2031. Anthony Beauvillier, who's about 112 years old. And Jimmy Huntington, who looks like a stunt double for a fucking R&B band. What the fuck is Pittsburgh doing?
Anthony Beauvillier is only 27 years old. Anthony Beauvillier.
Hey, we're going to do a giveaway?
I know his age. He's not really that. I was exaggerating.
Should we do a giveaway? Do we have any American viewers out there? Anybody out there in the chat or watching that is from the U.S.? Anybody?
please type yes in the chat, and you'll be added to a famous wheel.
And be from the Boston area would be great.
Yeah,
Is anybody there from the U.S.? And I would assume everybody else is from Canada.
Trouba's going to end up in the NHL Player Safety Committee.
What?
BL, that is an overpay.
It's $775,000 more than I think he was projected.
In Island.
That's fine. I think a center. He was going to get paid at least $7 million somewhere else. So
no, I'm not arguing that. It's just you didn't want to be the team that this guy.
His 707, that extra 775K is going to mean absolutely
nothing. It has nothing to do with the money. It's the fact that this guy's going to age like milk in the Sahara Desert.
We don't have center prospects, so that's what I'm saying. Like,
where is Trouba going to end up? Where is Trouba going to end up? Hell,
I don't know.
Hell, what do we do? We have no Americans.
Yes, I am, BL. I'm laughing that the Penguins are going to Iran.
Any Canadians going to be in the Boston area at all?
We saved the hat for another time, guys. It's no problem. If we got nobody eligible, it's okay. We always got more prizes to give, and we all got love to give too. Love you guys.
Love to give. Okay, well then you got your wheel. We're gonna give away
talking Habs, and I'll save the hat for next flyer.
We're gonna give away a T-shirt. You see me wear this T-shirt?
I need to write the names on the wheel.
We have the hat and the card. And I will save it for another giveaway if I have to. But if anyone is even from the States in general, these are what we're giving away.
By the way, ladies and gentlemen, I apologize if I misspell your name on this. I am just writing.
Okay, but we got to confirm if you're here. So if you're here currently, right now, in the chat, please say here in the chat. And we'll put if you put here, you'll be listed on the wheel. How's that?
You're right. Everyone here is going to be listed.
Everybody who has here in the comments, put here in the comment in the chat, and we're going to put you on the thing. Doug is here. Ghislain is here. Sean is here. Nicole says Bostonian all the way. Give the card to Nicole.
I can't. That's cheating if I do.
Nope. That's a joke. BL is here. If you want a chance to win a T-shirt, say here in the chat. We'll put your name on the wheel, and we're going to do a spin and give away this beautiful Talking Habs T-shirt. And this this was given by courtesy of Habs Guru.
Thank you,
Habs not here right now.
So we got Ghislain, Doug, Sean, and BL.
Ghislain, Doug, Sean, and BL, and now Gary.
Gary's here. He's from Boston.
Oh wait, Gary's from Boston, so Gary doesn't qualify for the shirt.
No, he qualifies for the card and the hat, though.
Okay. Hey, Gary, congratulations. You are the proud winner of a 4 pizza gift card and hat.
Yeah,
that was easy. All you had to do was show up and be the only American here.
Gary. All you had to do.
You're welcome, Gary. Enjoy it, Gary. We love you.
Enjoy, Gary. Thanks for being here, and I hope you have a good pizza.
I would like to say this. Just a big, huge shout out to 4 Pizza and the guy who runs it. He's an awesome dude. I went in and I introduced myself. He's totally supportive. The pizza's really great. You know, Alex and I could probably say, Alex will say the Honey Roni is an amazing pizza.
Game changer, absolute game changer. Aaron at 4 Pizza, awesome dude. If you ever in the area, stop in, say hi to him. Aaron, we appreciate your generous gifts. And we will continue to support you and your establishment on 100% around family. Thank you again.
Yeah, if you're a Bostonian, guys, and if you like McDonald's like every other American, get the Mac Attack. That Mac Attack pizza is absolutely stunning because my fat ass loves Big Macs, and that's kind of like a Big Mac pizza, dude. Get on there. It really is good, dude. I ate that. I almost ate that entire thing myself. That's 4 Pizza in Medford in Boston, guys. Well, Massachusetts.
It's Medford, a little outside of Boston.
Same shit.
Anybody else here in Canada? In Canada, say here in the chat. Here in the chat. Otherwise, we're going with the 4 we got.
All right, Rick. Here we go.
Are we going with the 4 we got? All right. Good luck to everybody that's going to possibly win. There we go. Wheel. Round you go. Where
going with Doug's in a prediction. Nope, I was wrong.
Sean, stop. Sean,
sorry, Sean, if I misspelled your name, I was just kind of typing on the fly, buddy.
Sean McIntyre, congratulations. You're
the lucky winner of a Rolls-Royce 2025.
Sean, I will require you to send me an email at talkinghabs@gmx.com with your address, even though I know I've sent you something before a while back, but send me your address so we can get this shirt to you.
Congratulations,
Sean
and Gary.
All righty. Well, it's in the description of all my videos, all our videos, even on the other side there. Don't Puck with Media also has that address. All right. So where were we at, and where are we going? Are we done with our?
We can do a little more free agency talk if you guys want. How about this? Let's give our 3 biggest winners and losers of the day.
Oh, there you go. Ooh. I don't know if I got 3 of each. I don't know if I can do
the clear winner for day 1 for me is Nashville.
Oh, I agree with that 100%.
Without a doubt.
Yeah.
I'm going to give you a surprising number 2. New York Islanders. They didn't make any crazy. They made 2 signings, and they were both good value. Anthony Duclair at 4 years, $3.5 million.
I did like that.
That was, in my opinion, the best value deal of the day.
What? I don't understand. He's a journeyman. He's probably not even going to be there for the 4 years. What's so great about that deal?
I don't know why he hasn't stuck, but he's been productive wherever he's gone. He just
maybe it's attitude. Maybe it's character.
It just seems like he's been priced out a little bit, and I think he finally decided to take a little bit less money. Because he went to Tampa last year. They weren't going to re-sign him. They knew he was a rental. Before that, he was in San Jose, which is part of a giant rebuild. He was in Florida, which at the time I think was also in a opportunity where they just had him as a rental. So he's just been part of rentals and rebuilds, but he hasn't really had the opportunity to really establish himself somewhere long term. Now he does, which is good. So I'm happy for the guy. He got a good contract. And they signed they got a defenseman too. I think it was Mike Riley for a 1-year deal.
I think so, yeah.
Not bad for him either. 1 year short term, low money deal. I like what the Islanders did today. Do I think they're gonna be game changers? No, but they didn't make any stupid contracts, and they had a very good value. They had 2 good value contracts. I put them as a winner. And then
I'm putting Chicago up there.
That's not a bad pick. I have no issue with that one.
I'm cool with that.
Actually, they did a good job surrounding Bedard with some better talent.
Now, they did everything good today until the news came out about what happened to the former Blackhawks employees getting.
Okay, but they're former. I don't know that that's a reflection on the team now.
No, it's not. But
that's more of a reflection on the league, letting them back.
Yeah, I think that is. You want to talk about that at all?
It's up to you guys.
The NHL allowed to come back into the league. Stan Bowman, Joel Quenneville, and who else?
Terrible decision.
And who was the third guy? And a third guy, after the whole hullabaloo there with Chicago and the, what was that guy's name? They let coach had sexually assaulted a player, and then
Kyle Beach was the player,
right? And they wrote a recommendation letter, sent him somewhere else, and he abused people there, and it was a horrible situation.
A video recording guy or something like that.
And all they got, he was the video coach, and all they got was now 2.5 years of being banned from the league, and now they're back.
They got $2 million fine.
The league is turning into a cesspool.
That's bad.
Gary Sandusky says Gary. That's rough.
That's rough, Gary. God. Come on, buddy.
Jesus.
That's I
get it. Jerry Sandusky a little bit worse because of the age of the kids that
way worse.
Way worse. So a little bit worse there. But yeah. Okay, let's not. I think we're deviating into some bad topics.
For losers, I kind of agree with BL. Buffalo, Carolina is the biggest loser.
Yeah,
Easy,
I agree with
no question.
Loser.
They
Carolina.
lost so many people.
Yes, they did. They did lose a bunch.
People can hate this all they want and say, but I'm going to say the Bruins were a winner today in free agency. They got. Tell me I'm wrong here. They got a 1C, which is what they needed, because I'm basing it off of what team needs are, right? I'm not basing it off of
quality
talent,
of
whatever.
those players.
Yeah. They got Zadorov as well. I mean, if you think about it, the Bruins, I think
Zadorov that much.
Yeah, and Lindholm is still a good player. He played very well in Calgary, and now it's going to see how he plays elsewhere.
You better hope he gets back to his form in Calgary, because if not, oof.
He's technically 1 year removed from it.
2.
Technically 1.
Right, whatever.
Because he was also traded. But if you look at it, I think the Bruins defensively, again, have the deepest defensive core in the NHL.
They might now that Carolina crapped their pants.
Now last year it was Carolina, no question about it. But like if you look at like Lindholm, McAvoy, Zadorov, Carlo, Lowry, Peak, that's a really good. They're big dudes.
I think if there's any team that compares in D-Corp.
And then to be honest, I think Montreal is going to be up and coming on that conversation too.
I mean, they got to have their guys prove it first. So I'm not.
Yeah, but I think but that's what I mean. I think they'll be up and coming in that conversation too, and that's coming from a Bruins fan.
What is best defense?
Maybe top 5. I wouldn't say best right now.
Okay,
yeah, they could probably. You guys might be top
now.
5.
No, listen, not right now. They're not best defense, but they will be.
And I wouldn't say the Canucks were. I would say Canucks were winners too. They got Jake DeBrusk, and because they needed a winger, they got it.
They got Bruins players, is what they
got Bruins players, but I think they were winners too.
You got to look at Toronto too. They kind of did okay today.
They did okay. They need to make some trades, but I think they did okay.
No, but they needed defense and they needed goaltending. They signed Wall. They got Anthony Stolarz. It's not bad.
Anthony Stolarz. Now that was a good pickup.
I think Vegas should be considered a loser.
And Vegas, they signed Matt Murray.
You lost one of your guys when your franchise started with Marchessault. They lost. Who was the dude they gave away in the trade to
traded Logan Thompson. They lost Chandler Stevenson. Lost Alec Martinez, but he was
Alex Martinez, a good defenseman. They lost there.
So good for Vegas.
Poor D-man. So
I'm happy.
I'd call them losers. And you know what? Originally, I did have the Bruins as a loser. I'm not going to put them quite there anymore. I think Pittsburgh's a loser. I don't know what the hell they're doing.
I don't know why you call them.
So yeah, Pittsburgh's a loser. They got
Pittsburgh's a loser. Boston was not a loser. Boston got exactly what they needed.
They overpaid for the guy is the issue.
By $775,000.
Money, it's the term, bro.
That's not the definition of overpay.
That is. It's part of it, yeah.
God,
sure, part of it is if it's too much term, that's part of an overpay.
Yeah,
he'll be fine.
You better hope he comes back.
I think he will be, because I think what people just don't understand is that the Bruins don't have up and coming centers, so he's not prohibitive to anybody. And in 2 years, when Coyle's contract is up, Potter's contract is up, Coyle is likely going to either take a cheap deal. We don't have the ability to sign superstar players or any prohibitive things. So the contract,
the 2025 free agent class looks like it's loaded.
Yeah, sure. We have 27 million. And guess how much money we have next year, Alex? $27 million with all that money spent.
But that's the thing. Now you ate up the spot for this so-called 1C that you were talking about. You have an abundance of players now at the center position. You have him, you have Coyle, you have Patras. Who's going to fit where?
Like if Lindholm
doesn't, wingers. We don't.
If he doesn't do well, signed in there.
My point. And I think he'll be okay for the first 2 years, and then year 3.
I think 2 years is way too much because he's going to be 32. I'll give you 34, 35, but not 32.
And then I think you got David Backes 2.0.
I don't think so. That's a bad comparison. They're not even remotely close to the same kind of player.
No, they're not the same player, but it's the same style of contract that you'll be stuck in. I'm not comparing it to the player.
I don't think so.
Comparing it to the hellhole of the deal you would be in.
Because Backes also had a lot of health issues. Like, you know what I mean? His back.
Lindholm does too. He's been dinged up.
I'm happy with what Montreal did today.
Which
That's
is
good,
good.
Rick.
It was smart.
They
It's
signed a kid for the Rocket. It's clear. It's for
The Rocket did a lot too, like just by
we
themselves.
had a bunch of depth signings too.
You
We
guys have a
re-signed-
lot of money. You guys should at least get something. Like,
We
not a
extended
big
Garnet
thing,
out.
but just something.
Why?
Like,
Why?
You guys
Why
are gonna-
they
need to.
when you guys put Carey Price on LTIR, you're gonna have 20 million in cap. I'm not saying you need to make something
No, we have
big.
19 million now with Carey Price. I think it goes to 29.
No, you do not.
No, it's 9 right now with Price. It goes.
Oh,
to
okay. Because I have it actually. I didn't load it up, but I have the. I thought that's how it worked. That's what that said. So still 20 million. They don't need much. What do they need? So they have plenty of money. And if they find they need to, they have money to go and get
That's why
somebody.
I say you don't need to go out and go crazy, but you should get something. Go get something.
Just to get something.
I don't know, improve the team in some capacity.
Just to do that.
It doesn't need to be wild, but I don't know. You're a hockey. If I'm a hockey owner, or if I'm a hockey team, or if I'm like an original 6 team, I'm looking at the coaches. I'm looking at my GM. I'm like, can we improve somewhere? That way we remain
But isn't there
competitive or
more
show
value?
signs
Okay,
of
I
progress.
get
They
what
are
you're saying.
improvement
No, listen,
already.
I get what you're saying, but isn't it more value in playing one of their younger kids in that spot that they would sign a player for?
Depends on
There's
how
more
much they
value
think
there.
that kid needs to develop in the AHL more.
No, they've got guys that are ready for that role on second. They need somebody on the second line.
So
they've
go
got
get a
kids
second
to
line
play
guy.
there. I don't think they need to go sign anybody for that.
Oh,
I think
no,
you could go get a second line guy. I think you could. Personally, I still think you guys could take. I wouldn't sign him for Montreal, but there's Eric Brandstrom who's still available. There's Philip Zadina who's still available, and with Marty St. Louis and his ability to develop players, I think Zadina, especially on your second line, when you guys bitch constantly about Josh Anderson, you're gonna sit there and lie to me and tell me a 24-year-old Philip Zadina might not be worth a gamble, even if he ends up being a third line right winger. Come on.
It's not about that per se. They've got kids. They got to move up into the system. They got to graduate. It's more valuable to play those guys this year than to bring in anybody.
We're not at the point yet where we can just plug and play and then go for a run or something.
Yeah.
They're developing
You got
guys.
guys like Joshua, I think is a perfect example.
Yeah,
Has to get in the lineup and play.
right. So you bring in a Zadina. Well, now Joshua's playing third line. Well, he
Exactly.
should be playing second line this year. As the placeholder for Demidov. And then that experience, imagine how good he's going to be the next year on a scoring third line. So, yeah, that's why I don't agree with you on that.
All right.
Yeah, no, I'm right there with
What's
you.
everyone's closing takes on this? Let's wrap this up.
Closing takes in what way?
I don't really have one, but I
Let
really
somebody
do.
else start because I got no idea why. Reports are Trouba could be on his way to Detroit now.
Oh, good.
The
let them have
Yasser
him.
scam continues.
Let them have him. Let them have him. Detroit,
And here's my closing
blow
take.
it up. Blow that fucking locker room up, please.
Here's my closing take now that you mentioned that, Rick. Steve Yzerman's overrated. Yzer scam. What are they doing? Oh, my God. What are they doing?
Yeah, I don't get
Blow
it
that
either.
locker room up.
Guys
You
are
want
scam.
Trouba to
Blow
protect
him up.
Patrick Kane or something? Like what? Who wants
Who
Trouba?
doesn't
Who
need
the
anyone
fuck
to
care?
protect.
Who's gonna make a run at Patrick Kane? He's an old bastard. You're gonna hit him. He's gonna go poop. Like
He's gonna go poop, maybe.
He's gonna go poof. Like he's
Poop.
please.
He's gonna go poop.
Below, that team needs goaltending. That team needs help on defense. Trouba's not the help on defense unless you want to see him swan dive into the fucking boards again.
Yeah.
Like, Trouba. I would be surprised if anyone took a run at Trouba like that. Like, he's not a leader.
Is there a surprise that the Rangers are looking to trade him? I didn't know that
They
was.
wanted to open up some defense room because I guess they got someone they're trying
So
to
trade your captain? Like that's kind of weird. Is not weird?
He's a
He's
shit
the
leader.
captain?
Yeah, he's a
okay,
shit
but he
leader.
just won the Marc Messier Leadership Award, like
Which is the biggest fucking joke I've ever seen.
I know, isn't it? And I said that
when I
and
saw that, I thought that was the biggest
that's
fucking
a
joke.
How is he that kind of like? I don't see it.
He's good at leading
Leader
himself
at
into the
killing
boards.
people.
God,
how much money Caden Gooley worth? I don't know. I don't know what his bank account has in it.
I think it
That's
means what
Ken Hughes said that's basically almost done. So
Why is he due for a contract this year?
yeah, Next year I think he's up.
Oh, okay. Nothing to worry. Oh, so actually, if it's up for that, yeah, they might extend him over this year.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a fair question.
I mean, that's getting close, too, if you listen to Ken Hughes' press conference. That's pretty much all but done.
Okay, let's answer this question, then we're going to take off. What do you think on that, Matt?
I have no idea.
What would they
6
sign
by
him
6?
to? No, Gooley's the kind of guy you sign to an 8-year deal or you bridge him.
Yeah.
But I don't think it's 5 or 6 years. They're going to sign him to 7 or 8.
How old is Gooley?
22?
22.
Oh, yeah. Then, I could
he's
say
young.
give him an 8-year deal. I'm fine with that.
But how much? I don't know. I think next year you got to take a look at that next season or over this year, I guess. And maybe that's one of the reasons why they got to keep some money.
He's going to be,
what
your
they
second
got.
pair defenseman?
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah, I wouldn't give him any more than 5 or 6 million.
Yeah, but I mean, so he's going to get 6.5. You got to figure.
I would imagine he takes
5.5.
I would imagine he takes a
Yeah.
6 or 7 year deal at 6.5.
I'm going to say he's going to be 8 years, but
At 6.5,
that
I
might
don't know.
mean- yeah, I don't know. But I don't think they should pay more. I don't know if they're going to be able to pay because they got a few contracts coming up that they got to sign. But anyway, Gooley's going to make some money and he's going to be signed long term. Or they use him in a trade to get, but I don't, now that he got Demidov, I don't know that they need to do that.
I don't think you should trade Gooley.
No, me neither. I don't think they should do it,
No.
but it's been talked about. That's why it's something that's being talked about. But I don't think so. Okay, we're done.
Is it Richard?
Next week we're not going to be here because we're going into our summer schedule. So it's going to be every 2 weeks. So look for us in 2 weeks to be back and talk about. At that point, I don't really know yet at all. But yeah, we won't be here next week. So don't be looking for us.
We're going to start our summer sessions, Rick. We're going to start talking about each of the teams individually and see what they need, where they need to go, our predictions.
My brains are don't. What are you listening to me for? Yeah, we're gonna start
And we'll
doing
do
season
leftover
previews.
moves in free agency happen too.
But we're gonna be basically doing our thoughts on each NHL team going into next season. We'll probably get about 5 or 6, depending on the episode, 5 or 6 teams at a time. And then if anything else comes up and there's whatever, that's what we'll talk about. But we'll be back in 2 weeks to start that. And so that's it. So thanks for being here all week or this week or whatever. I don't even know what I'm saying anymore. That's how tired I am now. Thanks for being here tonight. Really appreciate that. Please check out all of our other videos out there. And I'm sure before we get back for our next one, check out the Flyer is going to have one. And so is High Brew Nation. Check those out. Hab Normals, me and Matt and Harry will be doing ours one more this week, and then we're going to be going into the same summer schedule. So check that all out there and keep yourself occupied. Thanks for being here tonight. I'm going to stop talking now. On behalf of all the boys from Boston, I'll say goodnight. Stay safe till next time. Peace out, everybody. And enjoy the week and in 2 weeks, and we'll see you soon. That's it.
Rick's going to keep going for another hour.
Yeah, no, that's it. That's it. I'm done. Hands off. Yeah, Alex should do that. Alex should do that. Yeah. All right. So have a good night, everybody. Ciao, ciao.
I'm pretty tame tonight.
I got no music prepped, so I could sing, but I'm not going to tell everybody.